الخالق إني مشتاق إليه ومطمئن. فاعلموا إن كنتم لا تعلمون إن الله يرحم من يرحم. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I don't know if there are some people, maybe young people don't speak Arabic, just English, or everybody speak Arabic. Okay. It is hard to understand the loss of one so dear, but the comfort of loving God is always very near. To ease the pain and the sadness that we feel, for there is no sadness on this earth that heaven cannot heal. We may ask ourselves, how did he live and die? He struggled like all of us, pay his share without complaint or cry. He raised a beautiful family and loved his wife, and sincerely he tried. He loved to be with us, but he had to say goodbye. Life is a smile and a cry. This is our life constitution. We have to pay our contribution. They left it to us. We'll leave it to the next generation. But the nice thing, we have our will. We must pull it through it. And anything else is nil. Thus we offer our condolences to Sharifi family with respect. We wish you very best. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
رحم الله من أعاد قراءة سورة المباركة الفاتحة تسبقها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The family of the Marhoom Rahimahullah, Al-Akh al-Aziz, Abu Haider, they asked me to say a few words. And I am the most ignorant person among all of you comparing to what level of knowledge you guys have. So you forgive me for these few coming minutes if I am going to say a few things that you may know. But they asked me to make it in English. I'm not as good as Haji Kadhim Al-Hilli, who has the poems in Arabic and English both, and he could fit these two things. So I wrote a few things in Arabic, and I'm trying to translate in English as I can read it as you go. So Brother Abu Haider, rahimahullah, he was a decent person with a great smile on his face. Bismillah. He was sitting right here with us and eating outside with us. As we commemorate his departure today, and as we commemorated a lot of the brothers who were here for the past few years and they left us, and there will be a day that they will commemorating us one after the other. This is life. And that's what we need to be cognizant of, and we need to be thankful to everything we have in our life. So when we say we need to be thankful, looking at what we have as human beings, looking to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, from houses, wives, kids, everything we have, we attribute everything we have to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everything we have requires and deserves some thanking to to an entity that gave us this kind of blessings. Because if someone gives me something, I have to say thank you in return. So it is a moral and ethical responsibility for me to thank the person that makes my life better or give me something that I don't have today. So it is the human being that is always find himself or herself needing to thank. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Allah says, if you thank, I will give you more. What a beautiful equation. The more you thank, the more you will get. So we have to be thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything we have so we can pass the test. And then someone will say, okay, well, why we need to thank to pass the test? What test you're talking about? The test that Quran basically clearly say in Surah الضحى فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن. If the human being is tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and give him all the blessings and the comfort, then he will say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me everything, made me in a very best well-being. And وَإِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ. And if he is tested basically by getting less or getting him in a hardship status, then he will say, oh, look at Allah put me in this hardship status. So in both situations, whether it's al-ibtila is mentioned in both cases. إِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ and إِذَا مَبْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقَهُ. So in both cases, in ease and in hardship, we are tested. In both situations. But the good thing is we need to learn and realize that to pass the test, at the first one, we have to do a shukr. We have to thank. And if we need to pass the test in the second situation, we have to do the sabr. We have to be patient. And that's the way we pass the test, because if you are given a test, you have to pass it. We are human beings created to be tested. And we were given a huge homework. That Quran al-Kareem is a homework for us. And it is very proportionate to the brains we have, or the brains that were created. Imagine you have a homework and you have this beautiful Quran that you will be reading and implementing in your life. And you are tested in this life. And the results will be in the hereafter. So the question is, what is the meaning of a shukr? How do we thank? Well, if we go to have an Airbnb property, you will be departuring the property with a list of requirements that the guy, the owner of the property, will say, okay, you have to take all the fitted sheets, put them near the washer, and put all the dishes in the dishwasher and things like that. You have to go through the list, item by item. And turn the air conditioning on this degree or whatever. Now, when you do this list and you go through it item by item, you are basically thanking the person or the entity who gave you this property, because you follow the requirement or the rules of the landlord. Same thing when you rent a car, same thing when you do everything. When you follow the rules, that's a way of thanking the owner who put these rules together. Same way to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us rules to live by, and we go, we follow it, we are thanking Allah. And Allah says, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Same thing, this Airbnb property guy, if you follow these rules and you keep his house or her house in a very pristine situation, in the future they will love to rent it to you. They may give you more discount. They may favor you. They give you a good review. Same thing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more you follow the requirements and rules that Allah put together, the more Allah will give you. But there will be some question from the crowd maybe coming. Say, okay, well, the Airbnb or the rental car or the lab requirements all written and they are clear and I can follow them. But where is the guidance that Allah gave me written so I can follow it, so I know what Allah wants from me? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The answer of that question lies actually in the fact that we need to know the philosophy of our existence here, why we exist. Why Allah, who has the unlimited power, unlimited knowledge, unlimited everything, and He's perfect, why created us here? Why didn't Allah create us in heaven? There is no calamities, no hardship, no oppression. While here in this earth, man, we live through hardships. Our life is a series of issues that we have to overcome on a daily basis. We have people oppressing people, people lying to people, people stealing from people, people killing people, bloodshed everywhere. Why we're created here? What is the reason we exist here? Why did we exist in heaven? Why do we exist here? And that is, my brothers and sisters, the basically need of learning the philosophy of our existence here, why we exist here. If we do not move our brain, if we do not use it to think and be cognizant and comprehend our role in this life and why we exist, we will not pass the test. So what do we need to do? And what sort of learning we need to have? Especially if I do not exist in a community that has this kind of teachings, if I live in a heedless community. Some people live in a heedless community. They do not know why we're here. They do not learn anything about our existence. They live their life, every day like the day before. And that is going to be the difference between someone who learns about the reason why we're here and why Allah created us, and the ones who do not know. Because those who learn why Allah created us, they will get closer to Him on a daily basis. And they will learn, and they will feel the sense of belonging to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people, they believe that the religion is all about alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Some people know that the life is about doing salat and siyam, praying and fasting, and that's it. It's deeper than that. Allah created us, and think about it this way. I'm going to give a metaphor. Think about us being here as a very brilliant, smart robot with AI in it. And that robot with AI, it will improve itself by itself. But it will get the initial guidance from the manufacturer and give it the programming. And with the programming and the ability of the AI that this robot has, it will improve its operations as they go without any interference or interjection from outside sources. Same thing for human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be here on this planet, living by the guidance of Allah through the prophets, the messengers. And we use that without interjection, without force, to perfect ourselves, to be better every day, to be better with the way of living that we live. And that is the difference between us and any other creature here. The humanity, insaniyat al-insan, it is coming out from the bottom of the human being when they get it out through the action to the outside, to build himself, to build his family, to build his community. So we are human beings. We have to build ourselves. We have to build our families. We have to build our communities. That's the reason why we're here. And in the process of building, we will be basically overcoming all these hardships and all these challenges, but we will always get some deeds and some blessings. When we get the deeds and blessings, we have to be thankful. When we get the hardship and the calamities, we have to be patient. Because the goal is always to build. And building is not an easy thing. Building is a very complicated operation. Ask the contractors and ask those who work in construction. It's filled with unforeseen conditions. So, there is a saying to Imam Ali alayhi salam. He said, Rahimallahu man arafa min ayn wa fi ayn wa ila ayn. Imam Ali said, God bless those who will always ask, where did I come from? What am I doing here? And where am I going next? These questions gives us, or keep our brain always vibrant, keep our brains always thinking about what is the philosophy behind our existence here, and how to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the attachment to this life, the attachment to the materialistic life, is basically keep us a little bit away from Allah. So we have to have a balanced life. And the balanced life should have a bit of, a bit of knowledge, continuous knowledge. Almost every week we have to read, we have to understand, we have to educate ourselves. Because if I need to flex my brain muscles, it's the same thing as somebody go to the fitness center. If they want to get their muscles in a better shape, they have to go there every day, or almost 3 times a week. How about our brain muscles? Don't they need this type of exercise too? If there are no muscles in the brain, that's a disaster. That's not what Allah said. Allah said, we have muscles in the brain. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran always asking us to reflect. أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ. Always urge us to use our brain. Because using the brain, the gem that we have, is the most important thing that we are gifted with. And those who do not use their brain, unfortunately, they live their life on the go. They, at the day that they try to depart their life and go to the hereafter, they are here attached. They lived a materialistic life. They will say, why should I leave? Why should I go? It's not the time for me. They will hate it. They will really hate it. While those who are attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and live their life knowing there is a cause and they are working towards that cause, they know this life is a short bridge. And they know there is a hereafter. They know there is a test. And when that test comes, basically, if I live on that percentage of probability only, a 50%, there is hereafter. If I live just by that percentage, there's a 50% hereafter, and I work towards it, I'm not going to lose. Why? Because if that 50% happens to be true, then I'm on the safe side. If it's not true, I didn't lose a lot. But if it's true, that's a problem. How do I face it? So, using the brain and thinking about the philosophy of our existence, why we're here, where did we come, what are we going, and then what sort of relationship I need to build with the Creator who created me. And what sort of relationship I have to build with the people who live with me. Because it's not about, again, not about praying. It's not about fasting. These things are easy to figure. It's about the belief and what affects it. And what affects the belief, it's the oppression, it's the lying, it's the backbiting, it's getting people's things that I don't deserve. So it's the things that I shouldn't do that affects my belief, that affects my relationship with my God. The things that affect my salah and my siyam, it's easy to figure out, and I don't need to spend a lot of time because each book in fiqh is full of these things. But the things that affects my relationship with people, is that what I should be all about? In fact, there is a nice story about, and I will conclude with that. I will read it in Arabic, and then I will do my best in translating that into English. And the story goes like that. أحد المشايخ في أحد الأيام كان يتجول مع أطباء في مستشفى للأمراض النفسية أو مصحة الأمراض النفسية. So one of the scholars was touring the psychiatrist hospital, and they were going through the areas and rooms one by one, and the hospital, the doctors were there standing and explaining all kinds of cases that they have. Then the scholar say, okay, so أنتم تفضلتم بالعلاجات لعدة أمراض. You gave us prescriptions and recipes for all those cases, all these diseases. But how about the مرض of ذنب, الذنوب? How do we treat the ذنوب? They didn't say anything. One of those patients sitting in the hospital, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قال أحد المجانين في المستشفى، مستشفى الأمراض العقلية، طلب إذنا بالحديث فأذنوا له. قال يا سادة، إن علاج مرض الذنوب يكون بخلط جذور التوبة مع أوراق الاستغفار، ثم نضعها في مدقة القلب وندقها جيدا بالتوحيد، وبعد تمريرها بأيادي الإنصاف نصنع منها عجينا مع الدموع ثم نقوم بطهوها بنار العشق ونخلطها بالقليل من عسل المحبة ثم نأخذ منها كل صباح وكل مساء بالقناعة قليلا قليلا. فقال له الشيخ: ايه يا دنيا، من أحضرك إلى هنا فهو المجنون حقا. The guy who brought you here is the real crazy guy, because you gave us a good recipe for living a beautiful life. Dear brothers and sisters, we have to be opening our hearts daily to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to learn that Allah gave us this life and gave us a cause to be on this planet. And we have to learn the tools we have at our disposal. Allah didn't leave us alone. Allah gave us guidance. And the reason why He gave us guidance, because we human beings were created with a feature of use in our instincts. And this use feature helped us learn how to use everything around us, helped us how to use the wood to build houses and boats, helped us to use the animals to eat them and use their furs to protect ourselves, help us to use everything. But since human beings are social creatures, they do not live alone, they have to live in communities. That use feature they used basically to live with each other and use each other. I use you to teach my kid, you use me to basically give him food and this and that. The problem happened when there's an abuse. I use you more than you use me, and that's when the abuse happens. And that's why messengers were sent to this mankind. إنا أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط. The message behind creating this universe and sending these series of messengers and prophets, so the human beings will have a just community. Insha'Allah, we will be all remembering our beloved brother Abu Haider, as he was one of this great community sitting here with us, listening to our guest speakers with their guidance, sharing smiles and laughter with us outside. And inshallah, it was not a long speech. We just wanted to basically bother you for a few minutes until Salat time. And inshallah, right now we are approaching Salat time, so we will continue the program after Salat. There are some speeches by the family of Marhoom Abu Haider. So what I will ask you kindly, so after Salah you stay, you do not move out of your places. Those who cannot sit on the ground, they can be sitting on the chairs in the back or on the sides. So leave the chairs, please, for those who cannot sit on the ground, so they could sit on these chairs. And right now, we want your help in folding the chairs and get them on the wall so we can do our salat. So with no further ado, let us recite Surah Al-Mubarakah, Al-Fatiha ala Ruh Al-Marhoom Abu Haider Abbas Al-Sharifi, تسبقها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.